This ain't your stuffy, snobby, boring golf show. It's Golf DMV, highlighting golf in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and anywhere else they travel. It's Golf DMV.
Welcome back, everybody, to Golf DMV. Go to golfdmv.com, buy some merch. It's the first thing on my list for the show today. I am properly adorning the Golf DMV cap. I also have the Golf That Is All t-shirt. You can find all these gifts and more. And gifts because holidays are right around the corner. And so you want to go on golfdmv.com. You want to buy the golfer in your life. And maybe not even just the golfer, the gentleman or lady in your life who likes to style some nice gear, some Golf DMV stuff. Again, golfdmv.com. Brought to you in part by Cache Spine Sports and then also the Love Life Cafe. TheLoveLifeCafe.com is the website. I need to go to the Love Life Cafe and pick up some more of these pressed juices. I know with the holidays coming around, they're going to have some different kind of something mixed in there.
Flavors.
I can't wait to see what Magdalena and the crew have all mixed up. And by the way, when you go there, use the code LOVEGOLF. There's no reason to pay full price if you don't have to. Use Love Golf and they'll give you a discount. And I can get the discount, but again, because I support small businesses and female-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses, I pay full price even though I use the code. And so I confuse the cashiers when I give them the code. I'm like, don't take the discount off. And they're like, well, why are you wasting my time? Just don't say the code. It's like, well, no, because I want Magdalena to know that, yeah, someone's here for the show. And then, we get into a whole thing, but still, love the crew down there at the Love Life Cafe. TheLoveLifeCafe.com is the website.
I think Adia actually makes those juices.
Okay, nice. What? We should do a Golf DM. We should do another live recording at the Love Life Cafe before the year is out. We should do something in December. And we can see if Kasha can get in at some point to see if
December might be good.
We'll see how it works out.
And back to our website and people buying merchandise that we would so appreciate. We should do a Black Friday event as well, maybe some kind of special sale or something, if it'll get people motivated enough to go to the website and hit the buy button.
A Golf DMV Black Friday sale. Yeah.
Why
Let's
just
talk
Black
about this off air because this way we can figure out what it's going to be.
Oh, you mean Black Friday, not us? Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I got it.
We're Black 365, bro.
Right. Holiday.
Good thought there, Lawrence. We'll have more on that coming up. We've got a lot happening today. We had the PB Dye tournament, the radio station, one of the stations that I work for. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, Vern and the fellows at the Woodlands. Roy McIlroy wins this weekend. LB's got some LPGA stuff. But so before we get into any of that stuff, it's something. So I want to talk a little bit about golf envy, right? So Vern, I got a text from who is now a mutual friend. I mean, he was my friend, and now he's almost like more of your golf friend, but it's still a mutual friend, Steve Crouppen. And he asked if I was. He finally asked me if I was available to play instead of you.
Usually ask me and then I'll ask you. He said, "Hey, can you check with Claude?" I'll see if I feel like checking with him. But,
I love when the homies get together and we make new relationships and stuff like that. It's just don't leave me out.
Don't cut me out.
when Steve, so I mean I'm hearing all about these rounds from Vern. He's like, so it was me, Glenn, Crouppen was there. Like, wait, Crouppen was there. Wait a minute. Well,
he's my friend.
Yeah, he's my friend. So anyway, so I get a text from Crouppen about Little Bennett tomorrow being Tuesday. My morning's pretty clear. So I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm good. And so because I am who I am, I just text Vern on the side like, hey, did you get an invite from Crouppen for a little bit?
I got it first.
Your response was?
Yeah. I said, yes, I did. I said, I'm busy. He asked me like first thing, as soon as he got to
right. And then he said, but what Vern didn't say was the reason Crouppen called you, Claude, is because Vern couldn't play. So you was like the BC on the list.
Right. If no Vern, I'll call Claude. Which which is fine. I mean, he gets out more than I did. It's cool, But it was just so funny because the first thing I thought about when I saw the invite was like, I wonder if
I appreciate.
Like, do we have 4? Because I was going to reach out, but he already reached out to Vern, and Vern said that he couldn't. And so there's that, there's that whole golf envy with people. Like, okay, I don't, that's fine.
There's like a social hierarchy moving up in the groups though, too, right? So I know we're gonna get to the Woodlands later, but our buddy Matt, like when I was booking this tea time a week ago, he was in and he had to drop because he's got some obligations on the weekend that came up, and not a big deal. We play with men all the time. I'm like, oh no, right. But he texted me. He's like, hey man, don't move me down the list because of this, because it's one cancellation. So I seem to have
everybody's afraid of this. Yeah, like, everybody's afraid of this hierarchy. No, you're right.
Yeah, because Aaron's even said before too, where it's like, hey man, like he's told me this too. Like he's like, hey, if you can't make it for a tea time, he's invited me to. He's like, you're good in my book. Are your credits? I was like, no, cool. And I reassured Matt. I told him the same thing. I said, bro, you're fine. You're A tier credit. You're good to go. You can't make it. I believe you. But people start flaking and dropping out.
There is one person who you had talked about being moved down the list. I won't call any names right now.
We had to move him down. We had to move him down a little bit. Just jam me up one, a couple of times. So it was like, okay,
solid early too. Was solid early with
early. But there is this thing too that, and other golfers may know this. Most golfers, I believe, have multiple golf groups. So you may be A tier in your main group, and then in another group you're like C tier, because that relationship is inverse too. It's like, so if I wanted to go hit with this person, I'm gonna be like, I'm just like, oh hey, I just need a body to fill in, because I'll randomly get a text from like our buddy, like Sherman's buddy, Don. Sometimes he'll jump out of nowhere and just send me a text like, hey, we need 3. And I know that, like, all right, they're really scraping by because he's gotten all the way down his list. Who do I know that plays golf that is not a jerk? And he's like, oh, here you go, this is the guy Vern.
Right. Yeah, so. Right. Well, there you go, getting your folks out. So we had this. One of the stations I work for had a tournament at PB Dye. Just my initial thing, number one, is PB Dye. We got to respect PB Dye. We gotta put it in. We gotta put it top tier. We gotta. I think. Right, Vern. Like,
I agree. Is there anybody who's not doing that though? I haven't met many people.
I just feel like we haven't given it proper respect. You know what I mean? Like when we talk top courses, we'll go Worthington. We'll go whiskey. Mustard I think PB Dye's got to be in that group.
Well, I think the reason the PB Dye hasn't been on that list because in the past it had some suspect quality issues with their facility.
Right. But I feel like it's been back for a while. It's been back for a while.
I would even played it as lately. It has been.
I would even dare to say that outside of maybe Maryland National, PB might be my number 2. It might be my number.
That's
2.
Tough. I can't move into the 2 spot.
Yeah, but, I definitely couldn't do that.
But it's great. I can't move into the 2 spot.
But it's great.
Excellent.
It might be my number.
It loses me on hole number 2.
Hole 2, huh? The par 3?
2 loses that par 3 that's built like a dome. Yeah, I don't like the hole at all.
That's tough. That loses you.
It is tough. There's to be fair, there are only a couple places you can land it where you have a legit opportunity at mediocre 3-putt. And even I'm saying, even if you get on the green, you can get on, and then you have some ridiculous putt like uphill into around the corner or downhill that's not going to stop.
And it rolls off the other side. Yeah, it's a gimmicky hole to me.
Yeah. But I do like it as a top tier course though, Claude. No arguments there for me.
100%. Yeah, for sure. So we get there, and because of the tournament, they got everybody in, and the people from the radio station, the welcome people, they're doing some mission stuff. They play a video that I recorded with a guy last year for their social media stuff. They play that for the guys, and then they introduced me to come up. And so the guy who was doing, like, I guess the hosting or emceeing, he says, and now the guy in the video, here's our very own, and then he says, Claude Jenkins. And I'm like, he's been here for a year, almost a year. The last name is Jennings. The video says Jennings. Everything says Jennings. There's only one reason.
The best part about it is that he made it Jenkins, and that me, Mike, and just for other people, it's like all the other brothers in the thing, like who I was with, we all kind of looked at each other and just started snickering. Like that he made it Jenkins could have been anybody. He could have said Claude James, could have said anything else.
Exactly. That's the default black name.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, and the guy who said it, he's my colleague. We worked on this thing. I mean, he's a cool dude. His name is Dusty Rhodes. Yes, like the wrestler.
Like the wrestler.
Like,
yeah.
How does someone with that kind of a name messes up a normal name? Like, your name's Dusty Rhodes. My name is Claude Jennings. Like, what do you mean Jenkins? And then earlier, he had said something about a video, and he pointed at my guy Antron, who played in my group, and said, "Yeah, with Claude." But he pointed at Antron. And I'm like, Dusty, I'm right here.
Name and face wrong, LB. He's never seen Claude before in his life, or he's seen him too many times.
right.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, and maybe there was some confusion because there were a lot of dark faces in the room. I mean, the diversity was there. I mean, we was out.
Overwhelmed. It was just too
like, we're usually in the rooms that we're usually in. He can point me out quickly because it's not that many. But in this instance, it was no. And it's funny because this guy deals with a lot of major donors with this particular radio station, right? And he's sensitive to a lot of this stuff. I mean, when he first came on board, he and I talked because we have I think about 52% now of the listeners for that station are minorities. Really? And he was like, I don't want to ignore a huge listening part of the station, and there's a and there's a huge base there, and I want to go talk to him. He said, but I want to be aware of some sensitivities, and he and I talked about it. I mean, that was so. I was like, well, first, don't call Jennings Jenkins. Like, never assume that a black person's last name is Jenkins. No, but anyway, but that was fine. We had fun. The tournament was long. You're going 5.5 hours, 6 hours. I mean, that's just
right
what it is. Now here's so Antron and I had two other guys that were supposed to play. They ended up not showing up. Which is, is what it is. That's fine. But then they wanted to pair a guy who was there as a solo with us. This guy named Jamal. Jamal couldn't have been nicer. But Jamal's only swung a club 3 times. Here's how much of a beginner Jamal is. So the lady, I think, Vern, you met Wendy. Wendy comes up and says, hey, Claude, Jamal's going to play on your team, if that's okay. And that's fine. So he walks over there. Jamal has jeans on. And I'm like,
oh, you know what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Jamal says, I said, hey, Jamal, I'm Claude. Here's Antron. You're going to be with us today, whatever. So we're talking. He says, okay, where do I get my stuff at? Well, what do you mean? Well, if you're already registered in the bags, they're going to get it. Like, no. Like, where do I get the balls in the clubs? Like, what? Like,
he thought he was at Top Golf.
I said, well, go inside to the pro shop. That's the building right there, and ask for a rental set, and they'll give you one. And I asked them, let them know. I said, and off the break, let them know whether you're left-handed or right-handed.
Yeah.
And then I said, and they should have some left-hand clubs for you, but it's hard. I said, as a lefty, I know it's tough. He said, okay, I'm left-handed too. I can't just use your clubs. I was like, absolutely not. Under no circumstances.
Yeah, it's not that kind of deal.
Today, will you be touching my clubs?
Nor are you trying on my hat.
Right. This is a hard no. You're not going to Rick McCormick.
Wait, so he was
Rick,
left-handed,
by the way,
too.
brought up the hat. So Rick must have been binge listening to the show. And the last time we played, Rick said, I didn't know that. He said, I didn't know you were so sensitive about the hat. I was like, what? Someone like, what are you talking about? He says, the hat that I tried. I was like, Rick, like, you ask someone to try on their hat. Like, you don't understand why that
in the summertime.
Right.
Like, why that's not normal. Like, people don't ask. So
go back to Rick real quick. So we were at the wedding and we got to talk about something. I said, dude, you're a subject in our show almost every week because you do something stupid that we can laugh at. So that's what prompted him to go back and listen to the show.
Yeah. And he talked about this. He said, y'all love talking about me, don't y'all? I was like, well, Rick, I mean, you give us reasons.
A lot of material. A lot of content.
Yeah, but that's our guy. So anyway, most of the shots all the shots were either Antron's or mine. We finished 3 under. Which was great. And we were happy with finishing 3 under. Vern, I didn't get a chance to talk to you afterwards because you had to leave a little earlier.
I did. So we, my team was myself, Wendell, Mike, and we got paired with a gentleman named Dr. Mike. Now, we knew going in LB, or we suspected that the team was just going to be the 3 of us, me, Wendell, and my man Mike, And then same thing happened, like we're at the start, get ready to pull off. And Wendy comes up like, with these guys. And here comes Dr. Mike. Now this is what I love about social dynamics. There's this brief period where both parties, Dr. Mike by himself and then us as a group, are like kind of quiet. Hey, how you doing? Very cordial, small talk. But you're just visually, you're making, you're measuring up. You're saying, what's this going to be? I don't know. He's probably saying the same thing. I don't know about these guys. These guys going to try to take my wallet or whatever. No, I'm joking.
Right. Yeah.
But no, there's this awkwardness, and this may be a specific reference, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. For anybody who has been to a casino, who maybe likes to gamble it up a little bit. It just reminds me of a hot craps table when a new person walks over. Even if you haven't been, you can imagine if you know what a casino looks like a hot craps table, people are yelling, it's loud, it's moving quickly. And I've been in this situation many times where I'm at that table. It happened organically. We're here, everyone's loving it. There's a shooter who's good, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then here comes 2 new people, and it just gets dead quiet. Everyone gets suspicious. None of us know each other. The dynamics is these 2 groups now, because now they're like suspicious of us, and we're like, just throw the dice, and they throw it, and it goes well. You're in now, but more not, they come up and they throw it, and it's like 7 out, and all the money comes out the table, and people just start looking around, just like, just leave the table, or the people start leaving themselves. So anyway, that was kind of it was a little bit. I want to say cold. It's a little icy.
Trying to figure it out. We don't know each other.
Trying to figure it out. Listen, didn't take long. Couple holes in. Dr. Mike, big dude, cool cat, he has this putt to save us for par. He hit it's like maybe 10 feet. He hits it, and LB, he's not walking it in, but his version of walking it in is he would say 1 time, and he would put his putter up, but he would do it like when the putt was like halfway to the hole. So it wasn't like a cheat. We're not talking like, it's about to roll in, then he calls it. No, he hit this 10-footer, and we're all looking. He was like, what's he talking about? He said 1 time. I'll be damned if it didn't just drop out in the hole. Immediately, family, us and Dr. Mike. So it's funny how
now he's Big Mike. Oh,
yes. The team aspect of golf. People used to say, he can contribute. He's got short game. He saved us with a bunch of holes. We helped him out. It was great. So again, tournament golf, we talk on here all the time about how we don't like it. This was a fun time, Claude, because all of us, myself, even Mike's a beginner golfer. Not Dr. Mike, excuse me, my Mike. Black Mike. So Dr. Mike was white. So yeah, I should probably call it. I gotta do better. Cool. Mike Blunt.
Because by the way, because I talked. So we'll get back to. I talked to Dr. Mike the day after, right? He's like, man, Claude, your whole crew is really cool, man. He was like, and we pair up. He was like, and if someone was to look at the group, and they're like, what is this old white guy doing with these black guys? And he was like, but we just had he said it was the odd couple, and it was just
couldn't have gotten along better.
Yeah, he was like, nothing was. He said, he said they were just fun to be around, and I was like, well, and I said, Mike Blunt felt the same way about you. Like you were just you.
Yeah, 100%.
He doesn't try to be anything he's not. He's just going to be Mike, and he's going to be goofy.
Talking about Mike Blunt? Dr. Mike. Yeah, exactly. 100%. He was genuine, and again, it doesn't help that like he had like really good short game. He saved us so on holes where we all sprayed it into the woods, he would just drop one into the fairway, and then we would pick him up. The aspect of tournament golf that we don't like, obviously the waiting and the hours. I'll say this too, Claude. We only had like 45 golfers out there. I think it was 45, 50. It was kind of the perfect amount. I know the round, I had to leave early. I know the round ended up being 5 hours, but for a tournament, I think that's pretty good because you can run into a regular golf round that goes 5. So for a tournament being 5, I think because we were moving once we once the got off the tee box, got going, we were moving pretty good, LB. And the cool thing was everybody got to contribute. We had chip in. We had Wendell with a chip in eagle, which I was doing mostly assists. I had 1 chip in birdie. Mike had a chip in. He had like 2 or 3 chip ins. It was weird. You would almost think it was regular. Right. Like all of us, and then Dr. Mike I think knocked in a couple of birdies and then saved us. And it was so funny to see. I was thinking of LB a little bit, like with the short game. He's sitting there on a couple of this happened like 2 or 3 times where we had like maybe 6 footers, and he's like, "All right, guys, just a hair outside to the right. He just give us to read this." And we go up, and miss it. And one of us missed by a lot. Then one of us missed by a little. He's like, "Guys, just outside right." And then finally he said, move. He comes up, drains it. But he does it like 3 times. Comes up, drains it. And we just say, you know what? We're going to have you go first. He's like, "No, I need you guys just to keep putting and give me the read first. And then I will come up and finish." But no, the whole,
no, you guys go. But you know what? That's what Antron and I started doing halfway through the round.
What's that?
We were like, you know what?
Make Jamal go
first. Yeah, you putt first. We're going to tell you where we think you should, whether you get it
just putt straight at it.
Yeah, here's where and he hits it, and then we're like, okay, here's where, and then we still had 1 extra go, and so one of us would always get 2 putts at it.
Was it Antron probably?
I'm going to have Antron on the show. I putted extremely well. We used a lot of my drives. We used a lot of my.
I'm not attacking you. It's okay.
He got to defend himself.
I understand, but I understand the fact that I need to have a witness to say this. But I've been putting better, and I was draining some. I'll get him on to verify
to help you. Yeah. But no, that's really it. Like you said, the whole thing was vibes. The golf was good, and then again, just like golf, is supposed to do. You talk about him saying we were cool. Of course, you start opening up, you're spending 4 hours out there with somebody. Oh, what's your, we found out, about his kids and what they do and how that relates to me. Mike and I have similar situations. And it's just, there's more connection points among people, particularly among golfers, than there are probably the ones that make us separate. And even in the case of Dr. Mike, who, was from Texas and came, moved here from, I think, Austin or wherever he was at. He gardens, I garden. It's just, again, it was cool. So by the end of the round, I was sad that I had to leave early to go take care of some family obligations. But man, it was a good time. I think we could have done better than 3 under. We had a couple of bogeys. I know the team behind us, just for those who, nobody cares, but the team behind us, they had like maybe I think 1 or 2 shooters on there. That was the one that came in 9 under. We saw them.
They were the ones who won. The ones who
we saw them almost eagle that par 5 on the front LB before the long par 3 up. I think it's hole 7, the par 5 that goes downhill.
Yeah.
Somebody drove it all the way to the end of the fairway, all the way to the end, and then put a wedge like on the lip of the cup. So almost went in for 2. Wow. Almost an albatross. Yeah. So I believe that's what that would have been, 300. But no, it was a good time, man. It was a good time, and I was glad I got to come out and hang out with y'all in fellowship with the group, man.
Yeah, that was fun. And so we followed that up with a round at the Woodlands. And it was who was there with you guys?
Round at Woodlands was yesterday. This was Sunday, the 23rd. Excuse me. This was Wendell, myself, Mike, and Glenn. And all week, that's what I want to ask you about. I kind of know where LB is on competition, but LB, Mike is just looking at handicaps and he's doing stuff and he's looking and he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm gonna try. Let's try a match with, he keeps like picking out matches with like Wendell and Glenn and maybe people he thinks he's like needs to be chasing or he can get to. And so he's gonna do match play with both of them. So he's got 2 matches going on, one with Wendell and one with Glenn.
Okay.
And I'll just cut to the chase. Unfortunately, Glenn lost both of his matches to Mike and Wendell. Okay. Yeah, and then Wendell and Mike pushed. Them, and they dormied. Okay. They dormied. Exactly.
Well, let me just say this too, because I know Glenn's listening. There's a slight smirk that Vern has on his face.
What for the Glenn part? Hey, listen, I lost in Pack Dunes. Look, I can't run that back. We can't just go back to Pack Dunes real quick and I can get my revenge. You know what I'm saying? I'd say credit to you. He was mad. But no, the thing about it, to your point, LB, it was good for Mike. You start to look at it. So there, just for those who don't know, our buddy Mike is a New York golfer. He's like a 28 handicap. Wendell and Glenn are like 18 and 19. So they played basically even. They didn't do any strokes. Excuse me. And Mike got 11 strokes off of them.
Oh, he got strokes.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you hear it, so it's interesting, like just how perfectly the handicap system works. We talk about this all the time. You always come back to your handicap. And in this case, in competition, they were all pretty much dead even. It went from like between the 3 matches, it would go even to 1 up. Somebody's 2 up, then 1 up, and then even again. And it would just, they stayed relatively close to each other the entire time. So the handicaps that we have are legit, everyone. Like we're playing true to life. And when you get those strokes, they definitely help. But Mike has the itch for competition. So Woodlands was in great shape. This is in Baltimore. I think we need to put it in rotation. It's only like, it's barely 50 minutes for me. It's like 48 minutes for me. It's almost like a Columbia round. So if it's not far for you guys.
For me, it's even close for me. It's like,
I was gonna say, y'all should be closer. Good shape. Greens though, it's like Diet PB Dye with the greens a little bit. The green, it's more maybe Worthington. They were quick, and there's enough hills and undulations at that course where like you rarely are gonna get a flat like 4 foot. If you get a flat putt, it's probably like 3 feet. Like there's a lot of tough, even on the greens that don't look like much, there's a lot of like sliders, and I can't think of another course that has something like that besides maybe, like you said, Worthington, or they're trickily, that look normal, but they're kind of deceptive. So maybe Bennett in some spots. But no, course is in great shape. We had a good time. Weather was good. Sunday. But the competition, I know where you are at with the competition, LV. It's like, I want to have fun. I'm not super into that, whatever. Claude, we've talked about it a bunch of times, but I don't really know. Excuse me, I don't really know where you're at with this. And in my mind, I always say this. I think Claude is sneaky competitive. I feel like he's a positive guy. We're here to have fun, whatever. But your son's in football. You got him in the PGA. You cheer. I've seen these videos. You cheering him on when he's doing stuff. There's a coach in you. I feel like there's something in there where it's like, if you think the match is fair and somebody calls you out, you're going to be cool about it. But I feel like inside you're like, I'm going to destroy this person. Am I wrong?
I think you hit the nail right on the head. Like there is a super competitive person inside of me. And I'll be honest with you, like in my late teens, early 20s, I had to learn to calm that part of my being down.
I knew it
because I'd be super. I mean, it would. I was ridiculous, and so I've learned to tame the beast. And the way I tame it is competing, but infusing laughter and stuff just to kind of keep myself in the moment.
Keep it light and
There's no reason to see this other than a friendly game of competition. There's no reason to escalate. Just basically the same. This is why I relate. This is why I was able to call out the serial killer and Aaron, our friend Aaron, easily because I see it's in me.
You see it in yourself. Yes. Game recognized game.
Aaron seems to have it with himself. I'll have it with my competitors. But I feel as if I've mastered that. But yeah, I like competition. And it's funny because I like competition for competition's sake. I do wonder how would I do with competition with like money on the line, like even if it's
we didn't have any. For those who don't know, this was just a friendly. But the thing is, I feel like friendlies between people you don't know for whatever reason don't bother you. You don't care as much. But in a group dynamic where you all play golf together, you don't need to put anything on the line.
It's turns like, it up.
It's like, you think you're better than me? Now my handicap is this, yours is this. I'm gonna prove it to you. And then you haven't. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the thing, like, and the weird thing with me too, even with golf, is like I wouldn't even mind a match, but I'm good. Like Vern's a better golfer than me, and if we were to do a match, I'm good doing a match without the handicap. Like throw it out the window. Don't give me any strokes. Let's just go. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And let's see.
Okay.
And because what that is because especially if you're trying to catch someone, like if I'm trying to play up to Vern, and say, okay, no handicap.
You want to see how far.
If things seem weird, if after our par like one, and then maybe get a bogey on two, and then par three, it's like I'm only plus one after three, and things seem shaky, and we're not even counting the handicaps. That's when it's like I feel like that puts pressure on the one you're trying to catch.
That's true.
And so I'm down with the competitions. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I do, and I will say this too: when you do it with golfers who are better than you, so if I do it, if I have a match with Aaron or Gabriel, I think Gabriel, in this case, it's just, or even people who you're slightly even with, who you want to best, it does make you, and for some people, like you said, LB, it can throw you off your game. But for others who like a little bit of competition, it can sharpen you up a little bit. It can make you play better golf. You might mess around and score lower because you're locked in and you're focused.
Because if Vern and I do a competition, I know inside Vern's gonna be like, I'm not gonna let this dude beat me today. Like it's not. That's
what we're all saying.
Right? Yeah. No. Of course. Right. You know what I mean? It's like I'm better than him. He's not coming out here. He's not gonna talk about how he beat me on the podcast and didn't even get any strokes. I'm not having that. But knowing that he's thinking that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if say I hit a green in regulation, he's like, oh, good shot, Claude. I know inside he's kind of like
he's mad.
Which is cool. But which is cool, and so yeah. We should I should jump into some of these matches. I'm good with them, Now I've got to enter my score so my handicap actually reflects what I shoot. I think right now it's at like a 15 or something, which is ridiculous. It's close to like.
I was gonna say do that because if it's off too much to the low side, you're gonna be at a disadvantage when you go to somebody like Mike or somebody's getting 12 strokes off you or whatever. So Mike, I bring. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just a quick question to that point. This handicap deal.
Mm-hmm.
You all put every score in there. Like if you go out to tomorrow and you shoot 102, do you put that in there?
I'd say like 98% of my 9 out of 10 scores for me go in there. It's rare that I'm going to pull one out. Now, I haven't put any in there since, like, for instance, I'll say it on there. I don't mind saying. But with the Penn National, I had a hell of a time. Like, I did a new score thing. I mean, a new course thing where I was like, you know what? This was not going in. It was an aberration. And I think, I won't call him out, but there was another, somebody we know who had like I'm talking about, like you said, it'd be like a way aberration of a round. Like, just couldn't get off the tee box. Terrible at one of the Moco courses. It's like, just toss that out. But for the most part, no, I'm gonna put them in there. I don't mind putting them in there. I got like 8 that I have to put in there now. Now I will do this. I told this to Steve Rubin. I said I'll do this thing where like if I have like a 90,
conversation and I wasn't even included in.
We were playing. We were just out playing.
One of the minutes.
I don't think he talked to you. I wasn't sure. But no. I said I will hold on to them. I'll put them all in, but I'll have like 6 or so. If I have a couple bad ones, I don't put them in right away. I'm like, I need to get some good ones. So I try to like keep going. Right now, I think the tally is up to like maybe 6 or 7 rounds I have to enter, and I'm gonna wait for this weekend slate. I'm playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm gonna get all 4 of those rounds out the way, and then I'll just put them all in there, and the handicap will land where it may. It's probably gonna go up a little bit, but it is what it is. So.
Okay, same. Yeah, I got I mean, mine is definitely going up. I mean, I haven't put any of the abandoned ones, the ones earlier this year.
You haven't abandoned yet?
Oh,
way
wow.
behind.
I just haven't put any.
No time. Yeah,
it's not in.
Yeah. Well, listen. Before don't be in around with us with Mike before you do that, because Mike is calling out everybody. He's kind of the impetus for this. He's like, I want to see. He's checking everyone's handicaps. He's like, I want to see who I can call out.
He's the handicap checker.
He said, I'm gonna get strokes, and we're gonna see how close it is. So everyone's are legit this weekend. Who we play with, Matt and Wendell. So he's calling out me. So you don't want to be at a 15 and be giving up 20 strokes.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't want to see that happen. All right. So, anybody want to talk about Rory winning?
Congrats. I do. A couple little things. Go ahead if you had something to say.
No, that was it. Yeah, you go ahead. I was just filibustering for you to get there. Yeah.
All right. So I'm assuming you all was stuck to the NFL tit. You couldn't watch golf.
I was actually watching NBA, sir. Thank you very much.
I was watching NBA, college football, and NFL. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Somebody told me, who we all know very well, that it was too early to pay attention to basketball. Because I was first there, I was like texting, "Hey, did you see Zion?" And then I was told it's too early for basketball.
No, not too early.
I will say this. I do think it's too early for basketball, but it's on, so I watch it. Yeah. I mean, I think they should wait till Christmas to start the season.
This has come up, a couple times.
Kick it like that way, but whatever.
Okay,
it's on. So I'm gonna watch it tonight. There's some games.
Yeah. And I didn't have a choice, so I did watch because I was laid up for what. One thing I noticed, a couple things I noticed. One, there were not a lot of people there, which I was surprised as far as the crowd that was on TV, because it was in South Carolina, so it wasn't like it was some unpopulated part of
remote.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the crowd was very sparse.
Football season.
Mm-hmm. It must have been.
Oh, so really quick, quick to that point, I forgot to mention this for the Woodlands. To that point, this is in Baltimore. They had a home game that day. We finished our round in 3.5 hours.
Wow.
On Sunday at 10.
Nobody's out.
Just blazing. Yeah, football. Nobody was there. So maybe that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Just a couple points I took away from that. McElroy had a 373-yard drive on one of the holes.
Ridiculous.
And this was JT's 200th start as a pro, and Ricky Fowler's 300th start as a pro. I didn't realize. It doesn't seem like they've been there that long. You know what I mean?
How many wins are 300? I was just curious. What
is it?
Vern knows the 4? No, it's like 7 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
That sounds high, but okay.
Almost 10.
Well, you know what? We do have the internet. Lauren, talk about the LPGA stuff or whatever else. I'm gonna look this up.
Okay, so just another thing. I know I mentioned previously on the show, Janet, who's a cook at Hampshire Greens, went to see her Saturday morning for some pancakes. So so it was funny. We go into the clubhouse, and the guy was I said, I came here for some pancakes. This is a guy who works there. He turned the menu around to look at it. He's like, no pancakes on here. I said, call Miss Janet out back. He called Miss Janet. She's coming around the corner. Hey, baby, how you doing?
That's funny.
You want some pancakes? I said, yes, ma'am, I do.
So we're gonna be there this weekend. So I need to go. So I'm an outsider though. So I need to mention that I know you.
No, not necessarily. If you just tell Janet that, you could tell her.
But you should. Yeah, let her know. Yeah, tell you from the golf show with Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah, see if she remembers, but she might not remember my name at all. But if you ask her Miss Janet and you tell her what you want, and she'll make it. I mean, basically what it comes down to. If she got the ingredients, she'll make it.
All right.
Very good. Very good. Pancakes, eggs, and bacon was $8. And
okay,
very
so
good.
Ricky Fowler has 5 wins on the PGA Tour, 9 professional wins.
So, okay.
All right. I'm almost to the Big 10.
Those other 4 don't count then.
Right.
We're going with the 5 number.
Damn, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's it for the CJ Cup. Like you said, what's the name did win? What's his name? Rory. The LPGA was in Korea. Lydia Ko won. She won 21 under, first place. Her 18th career win, which was pretty good for her. She's currently number 1 in the race for the Globe for the season end tournament there, FedEx Cup or whatever you want to look at it that way. She's number 1 for that. More importantly, to me at least, Ayada Titico, who is the rookie. She finished 6th place at the BMW, but she is in 2nd place for the race for the globe as a rookie. She's number 2 in the Rolex points, and she will probably become their league's number 1 player probably the next week or two. She's got that many points already as a rookie, right? She's got 2 wins, but she's always in the top 10 pretty much.
Okay, I was wondering how many wins she had versus top 10s. Okay.
Yeah, she got 2 wins, and this was just Lydia Ko's second win too of the season. I think I want to say 3 or 4 ladies that have 2 wins on the season.
Okay.
So she's already a lock for the rookie of the year. Another fact I noticed found out today, she won her first tournament at age 14. First professional tournament at age 14.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
Excellent.
So yeah,
By the way, for everybody
to,
watching on YouTube, I have no clue why my camera keeps fading in. And I
just started doing it all of a sudden too.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
But so I am still going to the LPGA at Pelican Bay. I was just telling the missus earlier, I think I'm not going to go to the CMA Race of the Globe final one. I'm not feeling them. They haven't even put out their credentials application yet. It's less than a month away. And I got to spend another $1,500 to make that part happen anyway. So I'm like, nah, that's okay. I'm coming back home.
Yeah.
And they'll be there next year if I decide to go.
Yeah, they'll be there next year.
Yeah.
All right, so we got golf coming up. I've got little Bennett tomorrow. Vern, what's coming up this weekend?
Excuse me. Thursday, Forest Park, Baltimore, where Glenn said I have to break 80. So no pressure to there.
The greens are really small. I will tell you that.
Oh, you've been there?
Oh yeah, I played it. Been there times.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day.
Friday is Needwood. And Saturday is Pendleton, and Sunday is Hampshire Greens.
That's the lineup. That's the lineup. He's got.
I have a lot of golf to talk about.
Get in.
Yeah. Oh, and you're not getting pancakes because Janet don't work on Sunday, so you're off.
Oh man, I gotta bring my own pancakes. All right.
Yeah. Bring your own pancakes. All right, folks. We'll be back next week with more Golf DMV. Be sure to go online, golfdmv.com, pick up some merch. We've got plenty of things. If my screen wasn't, if you're watching on YouTube, the screen wasn't blurry, still my camera, you can see the hat and the golf t-shirt the Golf DMV t-shirt I've got on right now. But
shout out to WPFW. We lost quickly. It's just a sad note. Sorry. Krista Property, the DJ who used to allow me to come on her show.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, she passed this week.
Wow.
Cancer. Yeah. So that was a little depressing. Sorry to end on a down note, but it just popped in my head.
Yeah.
So yeah,
right.
It was
all right.
It was rough, but but the rest of us are still here, so keep living and keep buying stuff off Golf DMV website. Thank you.
What a transition.
And the show's over.